I'm going to chat to you about finance, property development finance, and what's different between that and standard residential finance. My name's Adam Panisi. I've done a couple of $100 million of my own property development deals, and I help share tips and tricks with other people wanting to do their own smaller or larger deals. So I got asked this the other day about finance and the best way to finance a property development deal. So what you need to know is there's two main types of finance. One is residential finance. Most people are used to that. And then there's what's called commercial finance. So you might have heard of residential finance and commercial finance. So I'll just tell you the main differences between the two. Residential finance, generally much cheaper. So you go to the bank, they give you 2% interest rate, and they normally will lend you, say, 80% without lender's mortgage insurance. So that's 80% of the value, or if you're building a single residential house, it'll be 80% of the value on completion. So all makes sense. You've got to chip in the other 20% if you're doing an 80% LVR. So that's residential finance. So pretty straightforward. They look at your serviceability. You've got to make interest payments generally monthly. And most people are used to that. You do your loan application, you go and buy a house, and you chip in the deposit. So that's residential. Now commercial, the differences or the main differences are, one, the LVR, loan to value ratio, is generally less. So where you can get 80% in residential, or you can even push to like 90 or 95, well, most commercial lenders will only go to 70% LVR. So that's about it. In a lot of cases, it's actually less than that, especially for property development. So LVR, loan to value ratio, is less for commercial lending. So obviously not a positive. Another main difference is about interest and serviceability. So you can get what's called capitalized interest. It's very common for property developers. And capitalized interest just means that you pay all of the interest at the end. So in property development, you generally don't get income while you're building whatever it is you're building. You wait till the end to get your profit. So with commercial finance, or in particular development finance, you capitalize, so you lump all the interest together and you pay it out of the end, out of the profit. So massive difference just there. The other main difference is rates, especially with construction loans. Rates are going to be higher for commercial. So just expect to pay at least another few percent more. So that's the rate. Then there's what's called a line fee if you're doing construction. So a line fee might be another 0.5%. So that's like the extra fees that the banks charge. And what a line fee is, it's the facility fee. So if you're buying a house for, or say buying a block of land for $1 million and you've got $1 million build on it, the line fee is actually the amount over the whole thing, so the whole $2 million. And it's normally about 0.5% or 1% for bank lending. So the other major difference is with property development in particular, residential loans, you can go up to 3 or 4 dwellings. With commercial finance, once you're building above 3 or 4 dwellings or 3 or 4 blocks of land, then even if they're residential, then you all of a sudden start to go into commercial finance. So commercial finance has got all of those characteristics that I just mentioned. There are others as well, but I won't jump into the particular detail. But what you want to know, if you're looking at doing a property development, if you want to stay in the residential lending space, which is a lot cheaper, it's a lot easier, you need to do 4 or less dwellings. To be on the safe side, you're better to do 3 or less, because not all banks or traditional banks will lend up to 4 on a residential loan. A lot of them will still consider those as commercial. So I hope you've gotten some value out of that. If you're looking at doing your next project or your next home build, I'll chat a little bit more about finance, because it is a very critical stage of getting your property development, or if you're building a residential house, getting it out of the ground and getting it through to completion. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video. If you want to know anything more in particular, just ask a question or ask whatever it is you want to know, and I'd love to do a video on that. Thanks guys, have a good one.